Coming up on DMPS-TV News. Learn what had jazz bands in the district tooting their horns. See how these students kicked off a new STEM initiative with a bang. And we'll show you how a few schools in the district celebrated Veterans Day.
Forward!
Stay tuned for all of these stories and more. Hi, and welcome to this edition of DMPS-TV News. I'm your host, Alita Carpenter. With many schools in the district honoring Veterans Day, we stopped by Park Avenue Elementary, Goodrell Middle School, and North High School to see how they ushered in the day of celebration. Park Avenue Elementary honored their veterans by hosting their 10th annual Veterans Day Assembly. This year, students were matched up with veteran pen pals to personally invite them to the celebration. The entire student body took part in singing songs by grade level before joining together as one voice for a grand finale. During the program, a few students shared their reflections and appreciations for the sacrifices veterans have made on their behalf.
I think it's just important for us to first honor our veterans, but secondly, it's a chance to educate our students on what they mean to our country and the freedom that we all enjoy.
A few of the honored guests were moved to tears during the program, but Park Avenue students and staff weren't the only ones to show their appreciation. Goodrell Middle School held a Veterans Day Assembly, which featured 2 brief plays performed by students and a brief reminder of what the national anthem stands for.
It's always good to have a reminder of why you say that you stand nice and tall and you say the pledge, and it's always a great reminder of why you should stop and be respectful during the national anthem and have your hand over your heart and just for a moment think of all those that have given so much and are currently giving so much for us to be here today.
At North High School, MCJROTC cadets welcomed more than 75 veterans and their families to celebrate Veterans Day in the school's auditorium. During the ceremony, North's principal Matt Smith thanked the veterans for their service. 4 cadets shared with the crowd the significance of service and demonstrated the ceremonial folding of the United States flag that once flew at Iwo Jima. That same flag was then awarded to Robert Almond, a World War II veteran that was in attendance.
Well, today we got to the opportunity to honor our veterans and to say thank you face to face and shake their hands and look them in the eye. And it's important because these are the men and women that sacrificed their lives and have committed their service to our freedom. And the opportunity to have the students be able to learn a little bit more about that and to say thank you in person, I think is as meaningful for the veterans as it is for the students.
6 jazz bands from 4 DMPS high schools gathered at Lincoln High School for the 14th annual All-City Jazz Fest. The event brought together ensembles in a non-competitive setting to celebrate the art of jazz. Parents and teachers packed the Commons area to enjoy the sounds of more than 100 student musicians performing their jazz selections.
The core of a music program is always going to be the concert band, while the jazz band brings the theory knowledge and the history knowledge to a whole nother level. A lot of times you're hearing the students improvise tonight, where they're making up music on the spot. And that requires knowledge of chordal structures, tonalities, timbres, as well as dynamics and how you're going to fit into something. And it also requires quite a lot of technique on the students' part. And so these jazz programs are a huge part of furthering the students' education in music.
Young readers and their families at Phillips Traditional School spent a night enjoying their annual Reading Adventures with Dad. Stories were read by DMPS staff and local performers like Dan Raymond and Eric David from 107.1 and Matinka Slater from KCCI News Channel 8.
It's time to be noisy. Let's hear your fears roar!
11 classrooms were decorated in the likeness of the corresponding stories that were being read in each room. The event was organized by the PTA at Phillips in an effort to promote reading.
You know, reading is always a great opportunity to learn and grow in your own education, but also it's a great opportunity for parents and students themselves to bond together. But you know, it's to continue our learning process. And Reading Adventures with Dad is a great opportunity just to encompass all of those things together.
McKinley also had some fun with reading. Iowa Public Television's Dan Wardell made a visit to McKinley to read to more than 100 students during their after-school program. But before reading the book, Wardell shared some advice with the eager audience.
Even though I work at Iowa Public Television, a TV station, today when you go home, I want you to go up to your TVs and I want you to turn them off.
Wardell encouraged the group to turn on their imaginations by going outside and playing, or more importantly, reading a book when they are home each day. He read Rumble in the Jungle and encouraged everyone in the audience to participate by acting out the animals in the story. With the help of criminal justice majors at Simpson College, 6th graders at Callanan Middle School held a mock trial case about bullying. The trial focused on alleged bullying between 2 high school students that resulted in a broken arm. After witnesses were mock sworn in, questioned, and cross-examined, the jury convened. A quick poll of the jury revealed that they agreed the defendant was probably a bully, but the case against him hadn't been proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
What this particular program gives us is the chance to work with young people and really helping them to get some skills and trying to mentor them to not only deal with the issue of bullying in the schools and how can we work not only to prohibit it but to know how to deal with it when it happens.
In addition, Callahan hosted students from McCombs, Merrill, and Meredith Middle Schools for a private showing of the documentary Finding Kind, which further addresses the issue.
I think it's important because in middle school, kids right now are really trying to discover who they are as people and how to build relationships, and these are their formative years. And so we're trying our best to tackle not only bully prevention, but also relationship building and just try to do a culmination of things to help reach kids the best way we can.
Central Campus hosted representatives from the Iowa chapter of the United States Green Building Council, or USGBC, for their Green Schools bus tour. Last spring, Central Campus was named the first Green Ribbon School in Iowa by the U.S. Department of Education in recognition of its leadership in recycling and environmental education. Heading the school's Iowa Energy Sustainability Academy, Larry Beal and his students spoke to the USGBC representatives. Afterwards, they led a group tour of Central's Career and Technical Education Academy to see how green energy is integrated into classrooms and curriculum.
And what we do is we try to give the kids a comprehensive education in all forms of energy, and then the sustainability part is just taking care of this great planet. So we look at biomes, ecosystems, endangered species, and so forth. So we give them a well-rounded education, and they're pretty prepared to go into a multitude of areas for a career or further education.
To kick off their new Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics initiative, Hoover High students and their families met at the Science Center of Iowa. The event featured an entertaining and educational live demonstration about fire and ice. The event was designed for parents to meet teachers and for kids to enjoy an evening of science at the Science Center. Currently, 52 ninth grade students are enrolled in Hoover's STEM Academy. STEM focuses on college readiness and preparing students for in-demand STEM-related careers. We spoke with Maureen Griffin, the head of the science department at Hoover, about the STEM classes.
They're definitely being tracked in a very focused direction. Many of them are in 2 science classes, both a physics class and a biology class, and that's so that we can move them through some science curriculum. By the time they hit their senior year, they will have gotten through quite a bit of advanced science. Same with their math. All of them are in a combined, like a hybrid math course, where they're going to complete both Algebra 1 and Geometry this year. That way they'll be ready to move into Algebra 2 and be ready for advanced math as they move through their high school experience. Most of them are in an introductory engineering course, so their course schedule is very focused, but yet they're still in classes with their freshmen, their other classmates. They have a choice of physical education. They still do some arts classes, music, band. They still have that all available, but we do focus with about 5 of their classes, and then they have 3 electives that they choose.
Principal Doug Wheeler tells us why he's excited to have the new program at Hoover.
There's a lot of opportunities that students don't know about. They're still, thinking about engineering in one way. You're just building bridges. There's all types of engineering. There's a lot of different ways to apply math, a lot of different ways to apply science. And I think what I'm most proud about is this program being a career academy of sorts for these students to explore these different careers. They're going to walk out into college much better informed than your average student about those careers and about the places where they can find interest, but that they can also grow in the future. And so we're really excited about that opportunity for the students to really know what's out there and be able to explore that in a more purposeful way.
Thanks to the Des Moines Bike Collective, 27 kids at Madison Elementary were given a new helmet and a pair of wheels to take home. The DMBC is a nonprofit organization that promotes bicycling as a means of active transportation, wellness, and recreation in central Iowa. DMBC accepts donations of good quality used bikes and recycles them back into service.
I really like the idea of getting kids hooked onto something that's more positive in life than video games or sitting on the couch. It's sort of a fun way to just get involved in the community and just help some kids that probably need some help.
The Des Moines School Board has begun the process of finding a new superintendent for the school district. Ray & Associates is the search firm chosen by the board to carry out the search process. As a part of that process, community input has been sought out through focus groups, a community forum, and an online survey. If you would like more information about the superintendent search, please visit superintendentsearch.dmschools.org. And lastly, we're quickly approaching that time of the year when snow days may come into effect. Be sure to stay up to date with the latest school closings, 2-hour delays, and 90-minute early dismissals by tuning into the local news media, the district's website, and social media pages, and here at DMPS-TV, where these announcements will be made. Please take note that schools will be closed on December 24th and 25th, and December 31st and January 1st. And that's all we have for you in this edition of DMPS-TV News. If you'd like more on these stories, visit www.dmschools.org. I'm your host, Alita Carpenter. Thanks for watching.